Welcome to lecture 6 on calculus of one variable. We are discussing Archimedean property, and in this session we will be discussing the various important properties of application of Archimedean property. Let's recall Archimedean property which we have proved in the previous lecture. So basically it says that the set of natural number is not bounded above in R. What does that mean? For given any alpha in R, that alpha cannot be upper bound for a set of natural number. That is, there exists a natural number n such that n is greater than alpha, strictly greater than alpha. Same equivalent statement we have in this form: given x comma y in R with x positive, there exists a natural number n in n such that n, small n in n, such that nx is greater than y. Basically here given x and y in R and x being positive, we have y by x, which is a very well defined term and it can be treated as any real number. So what we are saying is that this y by x, which is any real number, it cannot be an upper bound for a natural number. So there exists n in n such that n is strictly greater than that y by x. Okay, and to define that y by x, we are having that x to be positive. Now using these two property, as I mentioned earlier, Archimedean property serves as an huge application in calculus, not only in this chapter but even in further chapter in calculus we would be using this as an important property. So there are some more applications which are directly deduced from Archimedean property, and in the process we call those statement as well as an Archimedean property. So first I would treat them as an theorem. So theorem 1.4, there are two statements which I would like to make in this theorem. I'll call this as 1 and 2. Okay, I'll be proving both the statements separately. This says that given x positive, there exists n belongs to n such that x is greater than 1 by n, or in other words n is greater than 1 by x. Again, if you look at this statement, it again says that 1 by x, which is a very well defined real number, cannot form upper bound for the set of natural numbers. So it's in fact an equivalent statement, and in fact it can be directly deduced from both of the standard version of Archimedean property which we have mentioned. And second statement, this is a very important applications, and most of the time we use this to prove equality. Let x be greater than or equal to 0, then x is equal to 0 if and only if for each n in n, we have x less than or equal to 1 by n. And in fact, if you remember at the beginning of this chapter, we have proved something similar to this. X is less than or equal to y plus z for all z greater than 0, then that implies x is less than or equal to y. So something similar, which now here we have generalized it for 1 by n, because 1 by n is always a positive real number for as n is always greater than or equal to 1. So we prove this statement one by one as an application of Archimedean property, but in the process we use this first statement. I would give a remark over here. We use this first statement most of the time whenever we have simply a positive real number and we are in search of natural number. We want to produce a natural number to get some inequality. Okay, so this I would consider as an important statement, as we have been using this, as we will be using this further as an important application. Given x greater than 0, there exists n in n such that x is greater than 1 by n. So basically to prove this, I'll be using again the method of contradiction. So if I write down this statement, if I write down this statement using quantifiers, this is exactly same as, so I'll write down this as to prove that for all x greater than 0, there exists n in n such that x is greater than 1 by n. So ultimately this is the property. So if, I mean, this is what we want to prove. So if I want to use the contradiction, if I want to prove this using contradiction, basically this can also be proved using the second statement of Archimedean property by taking some particular value of y, because x is always positive. So you can take y to be equal to 1 and it follows automatically. But I want to prove this using contradiction, because this could be served as one of the proof. It could come as a proof, and if you want a rigorous proof for this, I would prove this using contradiction. So proof is by contradiction. So by contradiction means what? We assume that the statement is true, statement is false, and we lead to the contradiction, which forced us to conclude that whatever we have assumed is false, and therefore whatever is given is true. So if possible, or if the negation of this statement is true, and the negation, you know how to negate, there exists x positive such that there exists for all n belongs to n, you have x is less than or equal to 1 by n. So that means what you are saying is that, I can write down this, that is, there exists x greater than 0. X greater than 0 means it's same as saying, you have found some positive real number such that this is happening, that is for all n belongs to n. I'll write down this in a slightly different way. I can call, because x is positive, I can, 1 by x is also positive, and I can just multiply throughout by 1 by x, and so you get okay, I'll take that n to the other side, n is less than or equal to 1 by x, right? And this, what does this says? You have proved that there is a real number such that for all natural number n in capital N, script n, that n is less than or equal to 1 by x. So you have proved that this 1 by x form an upper bound for the set of natural number. So you have proved that ultimately n is bounded above. Since you have produced an upper bound for the set of natural number, you have shown that n is bounded above, which is contradiction to the Archimedean property, to the first statement of Archimedean property. And therefore, I mean, why we are getting this contradiction? Because we are assuming that this statement is not true, and thus we should have, you can write this contradiction proves that our assumption is false, and therefore we should have for all x greater than 0, there exists n in n such that x is greater than 1 by n. So again I repeat that this is also considered as a equivalent statement. So this is proof for the first one. By the way, I'll prove the second one. To prove the second one, we consider x greater than or equal to 0. So this has two parts. One is direct implication, in which we assume that x is equal to 0 and prove that x is less than or equal to 1 by n for all n in natural number. So one thing we need to observe here, that n is always greater than or equal to 1 for all n belongs to n, and so which is actually greater than 0, 1 is greater than 0, which implies that 1 by n would be less than here 1 by n would be less than or equal to 1 by 1, which is equal to 1, and this has to be strictly positive, and this is true for all n in n. Now in this case I am assuming x to be equal to 0, so that is I can say x which is equal to 0 is less than 1 by n. So that same as saying x is strictly less than 1 by n, and this is true for all n in n. And this says that x is less than or equal to 1. So if it is strictly less than, I can say that less than or equal to statement will also be true for all n in n. So this proves the direct implication. We will assume that x is less than or equal to 1 by n for all n belongs to n. Okay, so assuming this, I'll be proving that x is equal to 0. Remember that x is greater than or equal to 0 is common for the statement. So x is given to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so again I use my favorite method, contradiction, to prove this, right? So what is that? What is that? What I have to prove? That x is equal to 0. So if x is not equal to 0, then what is the only possibility? X can be less than 0, or x can be strictly greater than 0, but x it's already given that x is greater than or equal to 0. So only possibility for that x is that x is strictly greater than 0, and so 1 by x is very well defined. 1 by x is very well defined and it is positive. Okay, now from the given statement, from our hypothesis, therefore I can say that x less than or equal to 1 by n for all n belongs to n implies that n is less than or equal to 1 by x. Now see why I can take that x to the other side, only because this 1 by x is very well defined. It's a real number, and this happens for all n belongs to n. That's why I have to say that this 1 by x is very well defined. And basically what does this say now? This says that 1 by x is an upper bound for n. So if it is an upper bound of n, 1 by x, that is same as saying n is bounded above. So again this is the contradiction, right? So you have seen now through the various properties the idea of proving the statement using contradiction. Okay, so thus x greater than or equal to 0 is not true. This is our assumption, this is not true, hence only possibility is that x is equal to 0. We prove yet another property of this set of this Archimedean property, which we have in fact already observed while defining upper bound or the bounded above set or bounded below set. Okay, so that I would take it as theorem 1.5. This says that the set of integer, set z, is neither bounded above nor bounded below. Okay, such kind of set are said to be unbounded, or are said to be that is z is not bounded. Okay, so the one term that we used for not bounded is unbounded in R. This is in fact an application of again an Archimedean property, and this is what we have observed while defining the bounded above, the upper bound and lower bound. when we put this on a real line, we see that the integers are unending from both the side, left hand side as well as from the right hand side, which through which we can conclude that it does not have a upper bound as well as it does not have a lower bound. So let's try to prove this. Okay, by the way, if I try to put this in a simple statement, it says that the set Z is not bounded above, and it says that the set N not bounded below. So the statement is Z is not bounded above and not bounded below. So there is an AND, the conjunction is AND, the connective involves is AND. So proof for this. So again, I have to show this separately, that set Z is not bounded above, and also have to show that the set Z is not bounded below. So what I'll do, I'll consider one statement. So first I'll consider that first I'll prove that the set Z is bounded above. So first we prove set is not bounded above, Z is not bounded above. So to prove this, again as usual, I would like to use the contradiction to prove this. So let if possible, I am challenging the statement, let if possible Z is bounded above. By the way, this is important, not bounded in R, bounded above in R, because when you generalize the statement, generalize this term in any set or in any vector space, you have to be very specific. Now since we are discussing only the subset of a real number, it is clear that we consider the real number as a universal set in this case. So let if possible Z is bounded above in R. So what happens then? There exists alpha in R such that this alpha serves as a upper bound for Z. So how would I write? For all x in Z, x is less than or equal to alpha. Okay, I'll call this as star, this statement as a star. Okay, now one thing you would have observed. Okay, from here again the contradiction that I'll be getting is that the set of natural number is okay. So the question I'm asking is, can we get from here that or does this statement also says that a set of natural number is bounded above? So what basically happening over here is this. I'll explain through diagram. So you know that set of integer, a set of natural number is properly contained in set of integers. So suppose this is your n, then this is your z. Okay, the bigger set is z and n is a smaller set. So now right now you have this element. So in fact you can say that every natural number is an integer. So these are the elements in z as well as in n. So you can see that every natural number is an integer, but every integer is not a natural number. So if I say that if I have a certain property which is true for elements in z, then obviously it has to be true for elements in n. Okay, now see, for example, I have here for all x in z, x is less than or equal to alpha. So that means every element in the set of integers, every element lying over here can be made less than or equal to alpha. So in particular, every element of this natural set of natural number also can be made less than or equal to alpha. That is the turning point. That is the observation that you have to made, and that itself says that the set of natural number is bounded above by alpha. So this is a fact I am using. If you have a property which is true for all elements in Z, then it has to be true for it has to be true for the elements, the set which is contained in that given set. Okay, so in particular, if if x belongs to n, or okay, I'll use some other notation for natural number. If n belongs to n, this implies that n belongs to z. Why? As z is contained, n is contained in z, as n is contained in z, and therefore thus from star, from whatever you have mentioned, I can use the same definition. There exists I can use the same definition for this n also. For all n in n, which is ultimately in z, n is less than or equal to alpha. So through this you are saying that alpha is an upper bound, that is alpha is an upper bound of n, which says that n is bounded above. In fact, you can say over here itself, n is bounded above. So this contradicts the Archimedean property, and so the contradiction shows that the set of integers will never be bounded above. So this says that, and thus I can say that z is not bounded above. In a similar way, in R, in a similar way, I would show that the set of integer is not bounded below. So again, to prove, we prove here that z is not bounded below in R. So to prove this, again I use contradiction. So if z is bounded below, okay, so if z is bounded below, then what will happen? There exists, say, beta in R such that for all x in z, beta is a lower bound. So beta is less than or equal to x. I'll call this as double star. Okay. Now here I cannot directly say that for, in fact the statement would be true, but I have to show that from here again that set of natural number is bounded above, because set of natural number is bounded below is is vacuously true. So I cannot get the contradiction, I cannot get the contradiction to the Archimedean property directly. So I need to do some modification. So what I'll do is that you just make this observation: for any n in n, minus n is an integer. N is also integer, that's true, but minus n is also integer. Okay, so instead of using this this property which we have mentioned for a natural number directly, I would use it for a negative natural number. So because it is true for it is true for all x in z, here it should be, so it is true for all integers. So in particular it has to be true for this integer, right? Because whenever n is in natural number, minus n is integer, and that's why beta has to be less than or equal to this minus n. For all minus n in integer, that would be same as saying for all natural number, for all n in natural number. So thus I can say that from here beta is less than or equal to minus n for all n belongs to n. And this actually will give us a contradiction, because we would produce an upper bound for a set of natural number. I would prove that all natural number n will be less than or equal to certain quantity in R. That's trivial from here. So what you will do is that you multiply throughout by minus 1, and so you get n minus beta is greater than or equal to n for all n belongs to n. When you multiply by minus sign, the inequality will get reversed, That is same as saying n is less than or equal to minus beta for all n belongs to n. So what do you see over here? Every natural number is less than or equal to minus beta. This implies that minus beta is an upper bound of n, and this proves that n is bounded above. So this is how we do a little modification. It's not straightforward. So to get the contradiction, to prove the above statement, so we have proved Z is not bounded below. So these are the two observations which we had made before also, that is set of natural number is not bounded above, and that itself is an Archimedean property. And again, set of this is below, bounded below in R. And also we had made an observation that set of integer is neither bounded above nor it is bounded below, and this is the proof for it. So it's again an application of Archimedean property. Okay, so with this I end up this today's session. We are going to see some more important application of Archimedean property in upcoming lectures in calculus of one variable. So stay tuned for that. This is a very interesting concept which we discuss in calculus, and very important too. Thank you for taking your time to watch this video, and have a nice day ahead.